There comes a time in life when we no longer seek who we should invite into our journey, but instead begin to understand who we should no longer give space to. Because in the end, life is not only about adding, but also about subtracting. Not only about what we gather, but also about what we let go. And sometimes, wisdom appears not in finding the right people, but in the courage to release those who block the natural flow of who we truly are. Imagine yourself sitting in a quiet room. The lights are dim, the night wind slips softly through the window's gap, and the outside world feels distant, as if everything is waiting for your silence to speak. In that silence, you realize something. That most of the noise exhausting your life does not come from the outside world, but from the people you have kept too long in your circle. People who, whether intentionally or not, steal your energy, disturb your peace, dim your flame, and even make you doubt your direction in life. And strangely, we often hold on to them not because we are unaware, but because we are afraid. Afraid of losing, afraid of being alone, afraid of being called selfish. When in reality, it is that fear which makes us continue carrying burdens that were never ours to carry. Alan Watts once said that life is like a dance. There are moments when we step forward, moments when we step back, and moments when we must turn, letting go of someone's hand in order to find a rhythm more aligned with our soul. Not everyone who arrives must stay. Not everyone who appears deserves a permanent seat in our lives. Some people come only to teach us, not to remain in our story. And along that long journey, there are 5 kinds of people who, according to the wisdom we can reflect on, should not be allowed to stay too long in your life. Not because we hate them, but because peace and personal growth demand that we reorganize who we allow near the center of our spiritual heart. The first are those who always bring storms into your life. They come not with gentleness or goodwill, but with chaos that constantly repeats itself. You can feel it from the way they speak. Their words are like windows forced open by strong winds. You hear endless complaints, never-ending drama, and fiery stories that always require you to be the firefighter. They live inside a vortex of conflict, and somehow, without realizing it, you get pulled into it. Not because you want to, but because they are skilled at making you feel responsible for their chaos. But life is not a stage for unnecessary drama. You are not obligated to save everyone, especially those who do not wish to save themselves. There is a vast difference between someone who is struggling and someone who turns struggle into identity. The first needs support, the second needs an audience. And you are not an audience in anyone's life but your own. Release them, not because you don't care, but because you care too much about your own life that also deserves peace. The second are those who make you feel small. They do not lift you, they do not encourage you, they do not see you as someone evolving. They arrive with energy that makes you doubt yourself. Every time you share something you're proud of, they respond with coldness, cynicism, or even belittlement. They fear seeing you grow, because if you grow, they must confront the reality that they chose to remain still. People like this do not provide light. They steal it. There is something we often fail to realize, that a person's presence can either be a mirror reflecting the best version of us, or a shadow obscuring that light. And those who constantly belittle you are really showing their own fear. Fear of change, fear of your growth, fear of what they believe they cannot achieve. But you were not born to shrink so others can feel comfortable. You do not need to dim your fire so others are not blinded by its brightness. Let yourself shine, and let those who cannot stand your light search for a darker place. The third are those who only appear when they need something. You know this kind. They show up with familiar messages, but only when they need help, time, attention, or resources. They disappear when you need the same. Their presence is like a long drought, and their attention is like brief rain that falls only when they feel threatened by dryness. Yet life should not be a one-sided exchange. A healthy connection is a reciprocal dance. When one person always gives and one person only receives, the dance is no longer beautiful. It becomes a burden. And what is more dangerous, such people make you question your own worth. They make you believe that the only reason you deserve to be called is when you have something to offer. If someone is only present when they need you and never when you need them, that is not a relationship. That is a transaction. And you are not a convenience store open 24 hours for people who do not value your presence. The fourth are those who are always afraid of change. They want everything to remain the same, stagnant, unmoving, ungrowing. They see you as part of their old life, not as someone evolving towards something new. Every time you try something new, a new job, a new hobby, a new dream, they try to pull you back into a comfort zone that isn't even comfortable. These people are not evil, they are simply afraid. But their fear can be infectious. They can make you doubt every new step you want to take. They will ask, "Are you sure?" Not because they want to help, but because they cannot imagine themselves taking that step. And without realizing it, they pull you back into their small world. You cannot grow if you allow their fear to become the fence around your life. You cannot dance if someone keeps tugging your clothes so you remain still. Let them go. Let them stay where they are if they choose, but you do not have to settle there too. Your journey is still long, and you deserve to walk as far as you wish. And finally, there are the fifth, the hardest to let go, those you love, but who no longer align with your path. People who are not bad, not malicious, not intentionally hurtful, but whose energy no longer resonates with your direction in life. And often, the deepest pain does not come from releasing enemies, but from releasing someone we once considered home. There is nothing wrong with them. There is nothing wrong with you. What is wrong is the attempt to force two souls walking in different directions to keep holding hands. We often force relationships, friendships, or closeness simply because we fear that change means loss. When in truth, change is sometimes the way life tells us that true love does not always mean staying together. Sometimes love means giving space. Sometimes friendship means letting someone find their own path. Letting them go is a form of honoring them and yourself in the journey of life that never stops moving. In the end, life is a long dance that never truly ends. People come and go like waves rising and falling, and it is not your job to keep every wave. Your task is to understand which ones calm the shoreline of your soul and which ones erode it. Life is not about how many people you have. Life is about how peaceful your soul is when you sit alone. And often, that peace comes not from adding more people into your life, but from choosing wisely who deserves to stay. If someone disrupts your peace, diminishes you, uses you, holds you back, or makes you lose your direction, release them. Not because you hate them, but because you love yourself. Let your life be filled only with those who bring light. Let only those who help you grow stand beside you. Because in the end, life is too short to be given to souls that are not aligned with your journey. And when you finally dare to let go of those 5 kinds of people, you will realize something extraordinary, that the empty space they leave behind is actually the place where your happiness has been hiding all along.